On October 6th, 2010, I got to conduct some field work with a research scientist from the University of Washington. This was very crucial to my independent studies as it got me experiencing science hands-on. So this was a very long day. We started at 5 a.m. and didn't get back until 8:30 p.m., 12 hours of which were hiking. So we got our leg work in for sure. We saw a lot of cool sights. It was an open sky day, not a cloud in the sky, as you can see right there with that picture. Another thing we saw that was very interesting was tons of frog tadpoles going through metamorphosis. They had just begun to develop their back legs. I actually hadn't ever been to Mount Rainier up until this trip, so I appreciated the opportunity very much. Now we're going to talk about tree identification, and the first tree we're going to talk about is the subalpine fir. Now they have rounded off needles and they're fairly small in size. They're going to have a pod in the center and two stomates on the bottom of the leaf. Stomate is where the oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange takes place. Now another characteristic is that they're going to have vertical pine cones. That's not always the case, but it's more often than not. Another characteristic with the subalpine fir is their next year's growth pod that's in the center. It's going to be kind of rounded off. Most other trees are going to be kind of pointy. The next tree I've got for you is the mountain hemlock, and it's going to be very similar to the subalpine fir, except the only difference is that it's going to have smaller needles and it's going to be more bushy in look. Next, we've got the silver fir, and this is going to be kind of similar to the subalpine fir, except the needles are going to be longer, and the underside is going to have a fairly unique tint of silver to it. It's going to be a lighter green. They call it silver, but it's really just a light green. Now I'm going to talk about the temperature sensors. Jeremy had put out about 40 of these sensors the year prior. He would have 3 to 4 at each collection site, and they would be located approximately a quarter-mile apart between the sites. There would be 3 on the ground usually and 1 in the air. Now the air model was kind of like this. It had a white plastic funnel with the sensor below and a piece of baling wire to attach to the tree. The funnel is to keep the radiation off of the sensor. Now the ground sensors were much more simple. It was just the sensor with a piece of wire attached to the ground. For each sensor we had a set of GPS coordinates, and we would use Jeremy's positioning system to locate the sensor. Now most of the ground sensors were placed in an area similar to this. Now I'm going to leave you with some fun facts, just some interesting things that I learned along the way. The first clip is showing how some tree seedlings have developed behind some clumps of heather. Now they did this because behind the heather they're kind of out of the wind, and they also get more moisture there being in an open field, so it's more hospitable. Now the next clip, actually 2 clips, is going to show the idea of the tree line advancing, and this is exactly what I'm studying. Now you can see there's some medium-sized trees going all the way out to smaller trees, and this is happening because a tree island, which is a clump of trees, is retaining more heat and more moisture as it grows, so it's making it easier and easier for seedlings to develop, and you can really see that there. That took many of years, but it's on the move. Now this is up in the glacier fields. You can see that there's definitely some signs, such as this, that the glaciers have been through the area. Got a little clip here of a meltwater stream. It was running very fast, but that's going to change because we've got some cold weather on the way. And then to close, I've got a little picture of Mount Rainier. And I'd like to really say that this was an awesome trip and a great experience. And I'd like to thank Jeremy, Mr. Balog, and Mr. Patton for letting me go. And if you'd like a more thorough write-up on this whole trip, I've got that posted on my website. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it.